Welcome to the Nerd on Nerd podcast with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we're going to talk about The Conjuring because it's our very spooky Halloween episode. Oh dear, watch out. Oh, ghosts and things.
Liam, I scared you. I shouted boo.
It was terrifying.
It's a classic Halloween prank.
There's other classic Halloween pranks, like throwing eggs at people.
Covering people's houses in toilet paper.
Putting some dog poo in a bag and setting it on fire on someone's doorstep.
Putting razor blades in candy and handing it out.
Killing children.
What have you been up to this week, Liam?
Well, it's time for catching up with Jack and Liam, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to announce the section before we start it.
Got you, sorry.
So, this is episode 51.
Do we do that usually?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've had you come to visit, didn't I?
Did you? Is that all in this time period?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What did we do?
The plan was for you to come and visit so we could do some recording to fix the issues we're having with YouTube.
Oh, yeah, and then we had a way better idea and did that instead.
It was not a way better idea, and I still am just really disappointed with the fact that I can't do what I want to do with the YouTube channel, and now I'm sulking.
Yes, but I also
about
know
it.
what you want to do.
Wait, what? What's that?
Well, I know the thing that I have an issue with you doing.
No, the thing that YouTube has an issue with me doing.
Oh, okay. Am I thinking of a different thing? What thing did you want to do? Oh, you want to just do the normal thing?
Yeah, with like actual nice thumbnails and shit. But no, you can't have it looking good on YouTube because it's copyright. Even though fair use is a thing, and we often provide reviews, and there's this weird murky grey area that needs some clarification, but you don't want to be risked that we get called into court.
If anyone from YouTube ever listens to this podcast,
they won't. No one listens.
I want them to know that there was a specific point in time that you could probably track the downhill sort of fall of Nerd on Nerd, and I think it probably started the moment you made Liam take down all the YouTube videos.
Well, yeah,
because I think since that point there's been an air of depression around Liam, and I just want my friend to feel good again.
Yeah, so it started.
YouTube,
we can trace this back to
us.
When it started with the. We did a YouTube exclusive review of Triple X3: The Return of Xander Cage. It was a delightful review. It was a considered analysis. It was fair use. But what's that? We used a screenshot from the film that was available on a little website called Google Images, and that's not allowed. So we got dinged
Google
for that.
Images isn't a defence.
No, I know.
Okay.
We got
Just
dinged for that because that's naughty, so we took that down. And then the one that really got to me was the Train to Busan, our culture swap episode, where, again, we did... It was genuinely one of my favourite culture swaps because we had a really interesting discussion about critiquing art. And that's the one that really hurts, that when we had to... Well, when essentially we were forced to take that down. The thing with the Triple X3 one, we weren't forced to take that down. They just monetised it, so... I want to say Universal, but so whatever company owns the film could get money off of it, which is fair enough. We then made the choice to take that down because we didn't want to essentially give someone else money, and it would have been a pitiful amount of money because that had maybe like 10 views, whatever.
Yeah.
The Train to Busan one, we had a okay amount of views on that, like in the 60s. It's nothing great. It's not going to set the world on fire, but that wasn't even, we're going to monetize that. That was just take it down. And what I don't understand is we were nothing but complimentary to the film. So
yeah, but that's not why. I get that, but that isn't what they'd look at. They don't watch every YouTube video that they.
But then when you look up, when you YouTube and search Train to Busan,
yeah, I know people have then got the poster and all that stuff. I know.
Yeah, so I don't understand, and it's upsetting. I don't like not understanding things.
I know, buddy.
And also, like, we have two very different mentalities when it comes to this sort of thing. I think where
do we?
Yeah. I'm like, I would fight this because if we don't, who will? And you're like, I don't want to fight this, it's going to get expensive.
Yeah, I mean, so our different attitudes are, not different attitudes, it's I genuinely cannot afford to go to court.
No one can, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so let's not do it.
But it's like that saying, right? Where it's like, they came for my something and I did nothing. Then they came for my something else and I did nothing. And then they came for me and there was no one to do anything. Do you know that saying?
Oh yeah, no, it's just like that, Liam. Yeah,
that is what it is.
It's not though.
It is.
It isn't though, Liam, because that's the thing about like race and the Nazis. I think was where that sort of originates.
Yeah.
And you're talking about copyright strikes, so maybe chill it a little bit.
I mean, I didn't say that.
You're not some goddamn hero. You're not V.
I didn't
Liam.
say that YouTube was run by Nazis.
I didn't say you did. Now it sounds like you might be saying that.
I'm not saying YouTube is run by Nazis.
This sounds like that thing where people say they're not saying something, but actually they're saying it, and they just want to get around saying it.
Well, you know, the proof is in the pudding, right? We went for Mexican food.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And what was funny about that ordeal?
We
You were quite late getting to us, so we got there just as they'd shut down the kitchen. But because me and Kat are such regulars at this place, they offered to fire up the kitchen for us and then immediately told Kat what she was going to order before she ordered it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
Which I thought, you know, special treatment, made me feel quite nice.
I think it's a little bit sad.
Why?
Because it means you're going there too much.
Don't care. Next day, went for a Chinese, didn't we?
Yep. It was kind of fancy.
It was nice, though.
Oh, no, I really liked it. But, like, I mean, the three of us walked in jeans, hoodies, T-shirts, and a lot of people there were in suits and nice, you know, outfits.
Yeah.
I sort of wish you'd warned me.
You wouldn't have brought a shirt.
No, but I would have known.
Oh, okay. Because that's the thing, right? Like, I could have rocked up in a shirt, but it would have looked even weirder. It would have, like, I was taking two children out for a meal.
If you and Kat had both gone in sort of nice outfits, it would have looked like you were abducting a homeless man and giving him some sort of last meal.
Yeah. So it probably worked best the way we did it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It was good. I liked it. It was a good Chinese.
Yeah, and again, very friendly staff.
Yes.
Couple you had your eye on, I noticed.
No, couple that you had your eye on for me.
Same thing.
Different thing.
Well, didn't get any of the numbers though, unfortunately.
No, weird that.
Yeah, you kind of bottled out.
We did have as well at the Chinese, Liam.
Yeah.
Don't know if you remember, but because this is our super spooky Halloween episode.
Yeah.
It got very spooky and foggy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Felt like we were in Stephen King's The Mist.
Or James Herbert's The Fog.
Either one.
Whichever one you fancy. I think it's James Herbert that did The Fog. I know there was a movie that I think maybe John Carpenter, but I might be wrong.
Director John Carpenter, yeah.
There we go. See? People say to me, Liam, you're a font of useless knowledge, and I've proven it.
You have. Very well.
What's the spookiest thing that's happened to you recently?
In real life?
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
I was on an airbed. I'll explain more when we get to my bit of catching up with. And I was looking at a staircase, Liam, and there was a shadow on it.
Yeah.
And the shadow looked a little bit like a robotic arm. And then another little shadow looked like where the head would be if it was a robotic arm. And I knew it wasn't, but I did that thing where you lie there and you go, oh, that looks like a robot.
Yeah.
And then you go, it's not though. And then you also start going, if it was a robot, you know, this is what I'd do. And then because you're doing that, your brain starts to be like, it might be a robot.
Yeah.
Eventually I did just go, I don't think it's a robot, and then I fell asleep.
Fair enough.
That was a bit spooky. What's the spookiest thing that happened to you?
Oh, you'd have to watch the most recent episode of the Won't Grow Up podcast, and we discuss all of that.
You're using our podcast to shill out your other podcast.
That's how. Well, it is now part. Have we done the network yet? Can we announce that?
Probably.
It's part of the not a network. Yeah,
that's the name of our network.
So.
No.
It's a factually accurate name.
Yeah, because we're not a network.
Network.
No, it's not a network, but we are the not a network.
Exactly. So, you know, you're meant to cross promote when you're under a network.
Yeah, go watch Won't Grow Up.
Yeah, a bit of professionalism there. We endorse it if you like Liam, but more than that, because you might not. But if you like Liam's long-suffering girlfriend Kat, and I know some of you out there do, go watch, listen, whatever you want to do. It's on YouTube. Just find it.
Tell me what the spooky thing was.
It's on the episode. You have to go watch.
Yeah, but people go listen to it. We tricked them. They've gone and listened to it. Tell me what it was.
No, you already know.
Do I?
Yeah.
Give me a clue.
It was when I was home alone at 3 a.m. watching a scary movie once, and then there was a knock on the door.
Oh, that does ring a bell, yeah.
Yeah, it's spooky.
Go find out more, listeners.
We also played Dead of Winter, which is a horror-themed game.
That's true. That was good. I liked it.
I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to playing it again.
Yeah.
Even Kat didn't like it for the first maybe like 2/3, and then I think it clicked and the rules all started making sense. And then
we had a discussion about like you guys, me, and games.
Yeah.
Which is we all three of, well, not all three of us, two of us, two of that group,
Yeah.
have a certain attitude towards rules and games.
Yeah.
And the third member of the group has a slightly different attitude, which means that he has to read all the rules every time we play a game, and then try and convince you two to pay enough attention for long enough that you sort of get it and go, oh, okay, I understand.
We just let you read the rules out loud and neither of us listen because it makes you happy.
Yeah, I know, I'm aware, but I need to read them out loud because there needs to be the premise that that's not what's happening.
Okay.
That's not what's happening.
So to explain, the way you learn rules for new games is you like to read the rules and understand them.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. No. No, let's clarify properly. That's not the way I learn rules. That's the way I have to learn rules with you two.
Yeah.
Because you will not read the rules, so I have to do it.
No, the difference is that you like to read, like, essentially the rule book
No,
cover to
I
cover.
don't. I've always complained about being the rules bitch, and I'm the rules bitch in every friend circle.
Yeah, so the way that me and Kat like to learn is we'll look at, like, the rules on page 1, and then we'll start playing, and we'll get to the next part, and then we'll look at the rules again, and we like to kind of learn the rules as we play, because once it's hard, I find, to contextualise with the rules, like, why am I necessarily doing this, or why does this rule exist, without actually playing the game and seeing it kind of pan out. So I prefer to learn kind of like in dribs and drabs instead of an information overload at the start of the game.
No, but then you miss shit, like we always end up doing.
That's fine, because the first kind of time you play a game, especially when none of us has played it before, is like a practice one anyway, where you're learning the rules.
Yeah, but we don't play those games enough to not have, like... That's the thing. I don't want to have a practice game with you guys because I'm going to get to play Dead of Winter once and then have to wait like 6 months.
That's your fault.
No, it isn't. Move closer. Anyway, it was a good game.
It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Zombie survival in the winter.
Yeah, and we sort of fixed the YouTube thing. I'm just not happy with it.
Yeah, so YouTube will be back soon.
Yeah. I could talk about what I did this weekend, but I'm going to save that for our next episode because otherwise I'll have nothing to talk about on that one because we'll be recording that next Monday.
Oh shit, maybe I should save last weekend as well this weekend.
It's up to you.
Don't know. Liam.
Yeah.
Guess what I did?
Did you go on a journey that had revelations and some intrigue?
I don't think so.
There's no journey?
I mean, maybe.
There's probably a journey involved.
I drove down to you, that's a journey.
Yeah, that's a journey. And there was some mystery and intrigue there because it was like, will he get here on time?
Yeah, that was not really stressful because I don't mind.
Yeah, no, it's stressful for us because we wanted to eat.
I did say to you, though, to be fair, I said, if it gets to this time, just go and
That's
sit
what
down.
we did.
Yeah, and it worked. And I drove up your road as you guys were walking up.
Yep, and we said hello.
Yep. And I went, I'm just going to go park. See you in a minute.
Yeah, so there was a journey there. We took that journey that you just described through the misty fog to the Chinese place, so there was a journey.
Yeah, see, so lots of journeys, Liam, lots of intrigue.
But there was an emotional journey that we went on.
What journey was that?
When we watched Bellyfruit.
Oh, God, yeah, that's what we should talk about. Jesus, fuck all the rest of catching up with. Right, listeners, as you may know if you are a regular listener, me and Liam have got another podcast that we're going to start doing soon.
It was meant to come out by the end of October, but that's not happening.
Yeah, so we missed it. It's called Into the Asylum. It is a journey through Asylum cinemas, or Asylum films,
Asylum
can't remember what they
films.
call themselves. Asylum films. It's a journey through their entire catalogue of movies, because I have a confusing love for their movies.
Yeah.
Like, I like them because they're bad, but I also like them, which is just wrong. You shouldn't. But Liam doesn't have that, but sort of has it, but has agreed to go on the journey with me.
I like doing, I like lists and kind of...
Yeah,
like movie
Liam's
lists.
coming at it from an OCD, let's do the list.
Yeah.
I'm coming at it from I like these films, it'll be good.
Well, I do have a sort of morbid curiosity about it in that here's the difference. I'm fully aware that I'm not going to enjoy this and I'm going to probably get to movie number 3 and think it's the worst idea ever.
And then you're going to tap out. That's what I'm looking forward to, is the point where you have to tap out of that podcast.
Yeah.
Just because I think that'll be an interesting thing for me to have to deal with, is getting a new co-host.
Yeah, and then see how long they last.
Yeah, so effectively this podcast could end up at a point where it's just me getting a, air quotes, guest on every week, which is actually meant to be a new host who just quits because they can't deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, we did Sunday School Musical not too long ago, and that's what started this whole discussion, I think.
No, it isn't.
Is it not?
No, So us choosing to watch that was part of it, but I went and watched it with Tom and Frankie,
Yeah.
and me and Tom and me used to find Asylum films in a Woolworths up by us.
Yeah.
They were in the bargain bin, and I said to him and Frankie, "Oh, we should do a podcast where we watch all these films," and
But
they said no.
They were too
"Ah."
sensible. That's why the discussion between us started with Sunday School Musical.
Yeah. But I think that's where the idea came. I was like, I would love to do a podcast where I watch every Asylum film.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, it's a list and we're going through it in a chronological order, so I'm happy.
Liam's fucking dream.
Yeah. I mean...
But anyway, so... Sorry, go on.
I'd rather do Criterion, but, maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. So we after, we've done our research for this new podcast. We looked into the lists.
We didn't do a lot of research.
No, when I say research, I mean we Googled it on Wikipedia. We went to Wikipedia. We found their filmography, and we went, cool, they start with a film called Bellyfruit. This film is not available readily online, so Liam had to go on Amazon and get a very expensive copy.
From America.
From America. He had it shipped all the way to us.
I think, didn't we look up that it cost something like £30?
Yeah, it was something really, really depressing.
Yeah.
So Liam spent this money on it. I said, I can't find it. He said, look, come up, we'll watch it together.
Yeah.
What a gay old time we'll have.
Yeah.
We sat through, was it an hour and a half? No, 2 hours?
No, I think it's an hour and 30 something, right?
Feels like about 5. We sat through it, an hour and 30-minute film.
I mean, the first thing was that whoever, kind of created the DVD, yeah? I don't know what the word is, transcoded it or whatever.
Yep.
Did a terrible job in that. So normally with DVDs, you might get, if it's an old film, you'll get black bars across the side where it's filmed in a 4:3 ratio.
Yep.
Newer films, you'll get black bars across the top and bottom.
Yep.
This one, black bars just top, bottom,
everywhere.
Sides, and it was as if, imagine, say you got a screen, and then you got an image on it, and then you just shrink the image down to maybe half the size of the screen.
Yeah, it was effectively like your TV was trying to play a film the size of an old TV.
Yeah.
And not allowed to adjust.
No. It was like trying to watch a film by looking at a TV while peering through a post box.
Yeah, it was insane.
No idea.
It was, and the film was bad. It's the first time I've ever seen Liam fall asleep in a film, if only for 5 minutes.
Not even that. I think it was maybe 30 seconds because I did rewind at the end to see how much I missed, and it wasn't.
Yeah, and you hadn't missed a whole lot. It was just bad, and so.
Well, do you want to explain what it was about?
Not really. I don't want to give it airtime.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't need to.
Well, some people might be kind of thinking, well, how could it be so bad? 3
teenage girls get pregnant over the course of this film and then give birth to babies, and then
I think they're all
some of them
14
find
years
out.
old, and it's all it's different kind of essentially case studies of teenage pregnancy. So
yeah, but I feel like probably not accurately.
One of them, their boyfriend decides to try and kind of get a job and help out and support the family. Another one is essentially sleeping with an older man, and it's just really fucking weird. And then another one, I think, gets sexually assaulted, but
she was raped.
But gang raped, right?
No, she was raped, but there were people outside the car watching.
Okay, and yeah, it was just not good, was it?
No, it's a bad film. It's not done very well.
That's the thing.
It's just a bad film.
This sounds like quite a serious topic, the way we've just described it, but the film was just boring.
Yeah.
It tried to be like this film from I think 1995 called Kids, which has a young Rosario Dawson in. It's worth checking out. But Kids is kind of quite shocking and interesting, and this was just
shit.
Awful.
Shit, Liam. It was shit.
Yeah.
So we got to the end of this terrible movie, and I don't know what made me think it.
Yeah, you thought it maybe about 2 hours too late, really?
Yeah, no, I suddenly went, I'm gonna look into this film.
It was because there was no signage in the credits on the DVD case.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing came up anywhere saying Asylum. So I did some Googling, and I discovered that the Wikipedia list of Asylum films is wrong. It's just got some extra films in there that are either loosely associated to members of the company Asylum, or just appear to have no connection to it at all.
Yeah.
So that sort of fucks everything, because we wasted an hour and a half of our life watching this film that it turns out we're not doing for Into the Asylum.
Yeah, I mean, there are blog posts that mention this film being an Asylum production.
I think those people have only... I think they've done the research that we did.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
went on Wikipedia.
Yeah, there is no proper official information we can find anywhere, and you tried to email Asylum, didn't you?
Yeah, they haven't replied yet. I'm hoping that eventually they will.
I don't think they will.
We'll see. But what we've done, Liam, is I came up with a plan of action, which I have implemented, and I don't have the list with me because it's saved on a different computer. But I created, as some of you may know, I am a web developer, and I basically scraped their site, took all of the films that Asylum have in their film section, which is 200 and...
That doesn't
seem
like enough. I thought there was more.
No, it doesn't, but that's because I think that Asylum also take credit for stuff that they haven't officially made as Asylum. I think they distribute some stuff that's not theirs, effectively. Not that that's not, nothing illegal.
Yeah.
I think it's more like, a director will make a film and be like, I can't get this distributed, so Asylum will pick it up.
Okay.
So there's probably some early credits that they don't actually distribute anymore that get lost in the mix.
Because on this Wikipedia list, there's a Colin Firth film, right?
What we need to remember, Liam, is that Wikipedia is shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Wikipedia starts at so Bellyfruit. It's got the Scarecrow quite early on and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. What's the Colin Firth one though that it listed?
Yeah. So that's not even them. I think that's like something else.
It's got.
I don't know. Or it's him in his early days, Matt Lee, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, what we're doing is we're going to follow their film section of their website, which only sorts by year. So I had to create a program that hooks up with a film database online, gets all the information for those films, including the official release dates, which then lets me sort by the official release dates. So we now have a properly chronological list of the Asylum films.
Cool.
And I think if I remember correctly, and it might be wrong and it might change when the first episode comes out, but I believe the first film is something called The Killing.
The Killing?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I think so, but I will be double checking before we actually record.
Okay.
And before you buy stuff. But yeah, so that will be coming out soon.
Well, let's not say soon. It will be coming out.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. We also watched Rocky Horror Picture Show.
We did, yep.
Because I feel like it's not a visit unless I send you away with songs stuck in your head.
No, that's true. Recently we have been doing quite a lot of musicals when I come down to see you.
Yeah, and I thought, well, after Happiness of the Katakouris, it might be a good idea to send you away with songs that are in English.
That's true.
But yeah, Rocky Horror is one of my favourite films.
Yeah, it's a really good film.
I enjoyed it. It's just bonkers.
Yeah, it is weird. I did turn to you guys at one point and go, so they're aliens?
Yeah. Spoilers.
Sorry.
I want to see it at midnight screening though, with people like all dressed up and stuff.
Yeah, because after we watched it, we read through we read some of the bits from the script of what the audience do, and it's insane.
Definitely. Have you watched Perks of Being a Wallflower yet?
No.
Why not?
Well, because of the thing that I'm saving to talk about on the next episode that I did this weekend, and I haven't had time.
Fine. Been up to anything else?
Don't think so. I think that's it.
I've been up to other stuff.
What have you been to? Liam, is it time for your favourite part of the show?
Yeah.
Liam went to the cinema, and here are the things that he saw. Here are his spoiler-free review. Liam has been to the cinema. Here's the spoiler-free reviews of the things that he saw at the cinema.
I went to cinema, and now it's time for my spoiler-free reviews of the films that I saw at the cinema.
Spooky edition.
One of them's spooky.
Good. Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Halloween. The film I saw at the cinema was a film called Happy Death Day. I'm
actually interested.
It's really
fun. This one.
Kat didn't like it too much, but she can be a bit of a grumpy guy sometimes. I had a really fun time with it. It does that thing, like, kind of... I don't want to give false expectations, but you know how, like, Scream and Cabin in the Woods kind of play with genre tropes?
Yeah.
It does that kind of thing, but it also has this, like, Groundhog Day vibe to it that is a really obvious reference to Paul. And they even name check the Groundhog Day in the film itself.
Do they have like someone being like, "Oh, so you're Groundhog Day"?
Essentially, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the brief spoiler-free synopsis is this girl wakes up on her birthday, and at the end of the day, she gets killed, and then she wakes up the next day on her birthday, and essentially she gets to redo the day. And she has to try and figure out, like, who's after her, why, and all that sort of stuff. So Jessica Rothe, who plays the lead character, is brilliant. She's just so delightful. She's great, and she just makes it really entertaining. Like, I think her performance alone is what helps this film be so fun.
Okay.
Yeah, don't watch the trailer. the trailer gives away way too much.
I've seen it. It was on YouTube, as one of the adverts.
That's half the film given away, in all honesty.
Cool.
And there's a couple of like twists that are really easy to spot, but it's such a fun film. It doesn't matter. It's nothing great. It's not going to be a like in anyone's best of at the end of the year or whatever. But this time of year, perfect. 3 out of 5.
Fair enough.
Then I went to see a movie that I know you're keen to see. It was called Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
Have you heard of this one?
Can't wait to go see it. I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, directed by, obviously, you know.
Yeah, I do actually, Liam.
Go on.
I can't believe you're questioning me.
Well, you
at all.
quickly Googled it.
Obviously, no. How dare you? I obviously know that it was directed by the famous director Taika Waititi.
Yep. What's he done previously that you enjoyed?
Yeah, of course, Liam. Why are you questioning me on this? Obviously, I know that Taika Waititi's filmography includes such amazing films as What We Do in the Shadows.
Which, another perfect film for this time of year. Spooky!
Well, that one's not that spooky, but it's very good.
It's very funny, and it has vampires.
Oh, he did like Hunt for the Wilder People, and all those other ones that you love.
Yeah. Eagle versus Shark.
Boy.
I haven't seen Boy.
He's doing one called Corpse Tub.
Yeah, he also, I think, directed, I don't know if he did all of them or just some of them, but the Flight of the Conchords TV show.
Very good, I like that. It's a good series.
Yeah. I'm going to go see them next year.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok. So what's interesting about this film,
Yeah.
and it's obviously spoiler free, so I can't say too much,
Yeah, please
but Taika Waititi has this kind of quite unique like comedy style to his movies, and I feel like there's always a concern when you have these pretty original, unique directors when they get kind of given these big, huge comic book movies, especially a juggernaut like Marvel, where everything's so connected. Like we had this issue not too long ago with Ant-Man, with Edgar Wright, who had to step aside because, you know, they didn't want that kind of style to the film. So there's always this concern, will that director style get stamped out through the process of making a film like this? And I'm pleased to say I felt Thor Ragnarok, you could tell, was like a Taika Waititi movie.
Oh, okay, that's good. I guess.
It is. If you like his sort of comedy, it's probably one of the funnier Marvel movies I've seen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It also seems kind of, I don't want to say influenced, but it feels like with Marvel, you know when they did the first Guardians of the Galaxy, it was like they were kind of testing the water to see if audiences would go for that kind of concept.
What, the like spacey stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This feels like, because audiences did go for that, that's almost paved the way for this film to be as out there as it is.
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth, I think this is his best kind of outing as Thor. And it actually allows him to be quite funny, which I don't think you really get to see in a lot of the other kind of Thor appearances he's done. Like, there's been moments, but this really does let that loose. This is the third Marvel movie this year.
That's good. They're doing all right. Churning them out.
So we had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. What did you think of that?
Yep, it's a good film.
We had Spider-Man Homecoming. What did you think of that?
Good film.
At the moment, I think it's my favourite film of the year.
What, Thor or Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
And then we got Thor Ragnarok, which for me was better than Guardians Volume 2, which I still really enjoyed, just not quite as good as Spider-Man Homecoming. But I think it's definitely top 5 Marvel.
Cool, that's good. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. I won't say anything more than that. I could, but I won't. Because apparently we're doing a special on it or some shit.
Yeah.
What would I give it out of 5?
A 4.
Correct.
No worries.
So, I'm so excited. Right, it's time for the long-awaited... Oh, we've had listeners writing in saying they can't wait for this. I've been saying I can't wait for this. It's finally time. Jack is going to review American Psycho.
I really liked the bit where he did the thing with the people.
Okay.
He did some stabbing.
Yeah. What about the rat thing?
Which thing? Sorry, the what thing?
The rat thing.
Where he killed a rat?
No.
Put a rat in someone.
Sort of.
Put someone in a rat?
I mean, this is meant to be spoiler free, so...
Yeah, it's not a spoiler though, Liam, because I'm guessing, because I haven't finished it.
Oh, well, I thought you were definitely going to have finished it for this episode.
What I have done, Liam, is I've made a terrible discovery.
Oh, God.
I can watch Netflix on the way to work if I download episodes. So I've been doing that a lot. And then watching one on the way home. So I actually haven't had a whole lot of time for reading.
But you used to bang on about how much you love reading.
I do love reading very much.
So why haven't you done any?
Because this book is a bad.
Oh. I'm still reading Fight Club. I haven't kind of abandoned. I've just been a bit slow with it.
I've not abandoned this. There is still a hopeful part of me that is like, get off your ass, finish this book, then you can move on to all the stuff you love. But it's a real struggle.
So
I mean, I can't wait for me to finish this book and give it 5 stars when I'm like, oh, it turns out, like
no, that won't happen.
60% of the way through is when it gets really good.
Your issue, I think, is an absolutely valid one. In that you're like, I see what they're doing, and now I'm just bored of them doing it.
They're going to keep doing it until the end, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
But the thing is, what I like about the book,
I'm only halfway through.
If you like the violent aspect to it, there's a lot more of that to come.
That's fine. Those bits are good.
Just keep with it. Get through it. You can do this. Gibbo is waiting on you very patiently. I honestly, I think this was maybe 2 months ago we started this now. It's been great for me. I haven't had to endure one of your boring book reviews for 2 months, but I feel bad for Gibbo.
Oh, I feel bad for me.
Don't.
Can someone write in and just tell me why this book is good and why everyone loves it so much?
Here's a better idea. Finish it, and then you can Google that, and you can read. If you Google it now, there might be spoilers. So
yeah, I know. That's why I won't do it.
Finish the book first, then Google it.
Fine.
Because I'd also be curious to know why it is so highly regarded.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like when it came out. Because it came out in the 90s, didn't it? It was very Generation X-y, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I'll try my hardest, Liam.
Have you done any like anime shit?
Yes. I watched a Netflix original series called ID Zero.
Okay.
It's not super great. It's about spaceships in the future. People can put their minds into robot bodies.
Wait, this is everything you could ever want from an anime.
It's not that good though. It's all right.
What's wrong with it?
It's a little bit, too, like, one of them is one of the big robot things, like, used to be a race car driver, so he turns into a sort of flying race car, which is a little bit silly.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
That sounds more silly than what it actually looks like.
It almost sounds as silly as the stupid Mrs. Kobayashi's dragon bullshit.
Oh my god, I finished that.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good.
How far away was I with the name?
Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, you were. You were really close. Cool. I was very impressed.
But yeah, so this other ID Zero, is it?
Yeah. Oh, if you like anime and you need to kill time and you've got genuinely nothing else to watch, give it a go. You might like it more than I did, but I wouldn't particularly push it on anyone. So probably like a 2.5, maybe a 3.
Okay.
I think that's all the stuff I've.
I just want to know what about it specifically just wasn't good.
It's just not. It's a bit kiddie, I think, a bit too childishy. They use some of the cool stuff. Is they use like the CGI thing that some animes are starting to do.
Yeah.
For some of the shots, where it's like not every cell's hand drawn. Like some bits are animated.
Yeah. And
they do it quite well. Like it's not particularly jarring. Whereas I know in some animes it is a little bit like in your face about the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It felt a little bit kiddie. Some of the sort of plot. It felt like they were trying to do a big overarching plot, and then they've sort of. Every now and again, an episode happens that has nothing to do with it, and then it sort of just feels a bit rushed almost, because I think I'm near the end of it, and like there's not been any huge plot developments recently.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just all a bit meh.
Housekeeping.
Keep my house.
We had a few tweets and correspondence, because obviously...
Were they spooky tweets?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
We had Amanda on, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We did have a spooky tweet. We'll get to that. Anyway, Amanda's mum tweeted us saying, "Listen to this, my kidlit number 1 speaks all over it, good day." And that's like a quote tweet to our tweet where we kind of linked it. Kidlit number 1, like I know she means like that's the first one she popped out, but also the way I'm reading that is it's like kidlit number 1, my favourite.
Oh yeah, but that's because you're if you'd had brothers or sisters, you would be the kid that was like, I'm the favourite.
It's alright, genuinely. So yesterday, I had to go somewhere with my mum and Kat, and all three of us had to take our passports, and they were showing their passports, and I think mum and Kat were going on about, oh, we don't look good in our passport photos, and the person who we were showing them to was like, oh, no one ever does, and I went, I do.
That is very you.
It is, and just like, my mum just sort of gave me like a death stare, and Kat just sort of like rolled her eyes at me. It was brilliant.
Oh, that is just you all over. That's god.
I know, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Frankie at Briss Frankie. She sent a couple of tweets, but the first one was saying that she's all in for Gilmore Girls talk. Thanks for improving my train ride to work this morning. And then later saying, because our episodes I think are a bit too long, she was saying, today I got to the part of the latest Nerd on Nerd podcast where the Gilmore Girls chat started, and it's put the biggest smile on my face. So that's good. We had some offline correspondence from Mark Dawes, who's been on the show.
Yep.
He didn't like he didn't like the Gilmore Girls talk.
Too long, or just doesn't like the Gilmore Girls?
No, he said that for someone who knew nothing about the Gilmore Girls, we didn't do a good job of selling it. We just kind of said a lot of names and then said how much we liked it.
Oh, well, I get that, but also, has our sort of shtick always been... Hasn't our shtick always been that we tell you what we're going to watch, you guys go and watch it as well,
exactly.
And then we all talk about it together?
Yeah, so if you want
I'm not dissing Mark, though, because I also understand that no one fucking does that, and I wouldn't if I was listening to this podcast.
I mean, we could be better at kind of giving a more succinct overview, but also it's Nerd on Nerd. It's a place where you can come to nerd out about things, and especially when we have guests on, it's all about nerding out. And I imagine to listen to that and not feel like part of the conversation because you don't really know what we're nerding out about can be quite exclusionary. Is that a word?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. Lee Brady tweeted us because I said I think we titled it saying Liam has a shocking revelation, and then I tweeted saying clickbait title or fact, and Lee Brady tweeted saying probably both, looking forward to listening. He's been on the show, he loved it.
Yep.
Hang on. Amanda responded saying bantering with Nerd on Nerd is one of my favourite things.
Thanks, Amanda, we love having you on.
Dave K, he's a new listener. Hi Dave K, hopefully you're still listening. He
Please
said,
be listening.
I already have so many podcasts, I'm behind on another to the list, because I think Amanda got him to start listening to us.
We don't mind if you're behind on our episodes. Please just give them a listen so we get some stats.
Yeah. And then, this was a nice exchange I enjoyed. So do you remember in the episode, Amanda said there is a season of Gilmore Girls where it's not very good?
Yep.
Dave K tweeted saying, you guys will absolutely know what season Gilmore Girls takes a dive. It's painfully obvious, alas, but it's still better than most TV. Mm-hmm. So I tweeted saying, something to look forward to. And he said, I will have much to contribute by the time you get to the Netflix specials. And then Amanda chimed in saying, speaking of, what seasons are each of you on now? I responded saying, Jack hasn't watched any more because he's the worst. Liam is on season 3, episode 14.
Yep.
Then Amanda tweeted saying, hey, and then tagged you in it. I noticed you didn't respond.
I don't check Twitter very often.
Yeah, saying, start watching more Gilmore Girls. I want to discuss it more with you. And then Dave K said, your fans demand it, frankly. I'm ashamed to say that last step was my first, but it won't be my last. So that's good. To give Amanda an update, I've now finished season 3. Oh, it's delightful. It's fucking brilliant. It's so good. Oh, also, This is another bit. You know how someone once tweeted us saying your arguments are nonsensical, and that's become kind of like...
a thing that you remember, but
I
don't...
like a theme of the show almost.
Or, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we've got another theme now. So after I tweeted saying Jack hasn't watched any more because he's the worst and Liam is on season 3, ep 14, Dave K did tweet saying, good old dependable Liam.
I don't think Dave K has listened to enough of this podcast to call you dependable Liam.
Amanda responded, oh Dave, you have just fueled a possible future disagreement about who is the favourite of fans and who is actually dependable.
Oh, no. See, no. I'm fully aware that you are the favourite of fans. Unless people go and listen to the run where you just insult the fans for most of the end of the show.
Dependable.
The dependable bit is the trick. You're not dependable, you just make people think you are.
No, that's not even it. It's just compared to you, which is setting the bar so low that I literally don't really have to do much, and I'm the dependable one.
When was the last time that you came up to visit me?
Well... I don't know.
So wait, because let's define dependable as what it really is, and not someone that watches shit. Let's talk about dependable as in someone that will come and visit their friend.
I have been
to your house a lot. Yeah. When was the last time you came to my house?
Your parents are there, and that makes me uncomfortable.
I lived in a flat for a year. Did you come and see my flat?
Well, you had other people there that you didn't really say that they would be very welcoming.
I lived with friends for like 6 months.
When you come here, we provide you a luxurious stay with a blow-up bed. And
your blow-up bed slowly deflates for the whole weekend.
You're the only one that's ever used it, so that's entirely your fault.
I love it as well. It's great.
What would I have got if I'd have come to visit you?
A fajita.
What? You can't sleep.
I'd have made you fajitas.
Right, you get those when you come here at the Mexican. We don't even.
I pay for them. You'd have had a free fajita.
Don't want it.
You're a liar.
Don't want it.
Anyway,
Kat, my other half, said catching up with @NerdOnNerd, and there should be an episode apologising to me, especially after Liam Underwood called me vindictive.
Was that in the episode?
I don't remember. And then she tweeted later on saying, "Poor Amanda apologising to me." This was another fun exchange. Like I said, our Twitter's just been blowing up lately.
I think I know what one you're about to talk about.
Yeah?
Because this is the one that we were both excited about, I think.
Yeah. So Dave K was like, episode 1, Fleshlights. Well, obviously, I said we started as we meant to go on. He said with expensive sex toys. I said, who have still yet to sponsor us, I may add. Then he tagged Fleshlight in this conversation saying, get on it. And the official Fleshlight account tweeted us saying, you're doing fine work. And then I ruined it all by saying, so the sponsorship check is in the mail, awesome. And they never responded. Yeah,
I think you did scare them away again.
Well,
it's almost like we're two fishermen and we've been dangling our rod in the water and every now and again we've had a nibble. That's a lie. We've never had a nibble. But then very briefly the Fleshlight trout brushed up against our
don't call him a
bait.
Trout.
Carp?
No, call him like a sexy fish, like a shark.
No, you don't catch sharks in lakes. I'm definitely picturing us on a lake. We're not sea fishermen. Sturgeon?
That's not a sexy fish, is it? What about like an eel? Eels are pretty sexy.
Yeah, sure. The Fleshlight eel.
I think they'll like that comparison.
Swam up and gently mouthed at our bait and hook.
Yeah,
and
they
as they did that, in a fit of sort of excitement, you sort of yelled at the water, "Bite the hook," and it swam away.
Yeah, that's accurate.
But it might come back. Who knows?
I mean, the thing is, I don't even necessarily want them to give us money. I just want them to send us products to test.
Well, that's fine, I guess.
Is it?
No, but
imagine. Oh, how good would it be if they send us a load of products and then we can have a new section this week? Liam fucked this thing, and I'll do a review.
I mean,
and we can be like, what thing did Liam fuck this week?
I'd be up for having that in the show.
There we go. Fleshlight, if you're listening.
You don't need to pay us. We just need you to send Liam one Fleshlight for him to fuck.
Well, if we want it to be a regular thing, like here's the deal: the more things you send, the more content you get out of us.
Yeah, no, I think they should do a tester one. I feel like they're nervous about this whole deal. I want them to do one test where they send you one Fleshlight.
Would you like anything sent your way?
No.
Nothing.
No, I'm all right.
So you're not going to get upset though. Like if we have a sponsor, but I literally am the only one that benefits out of it, is that going to be an issue to you?
Sorry, just very, very quickly. You think benefiting from this sponsorship is you ending up with a ton of sex toys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm all right.
I'll get a ton of sex toys and probably a grumpy girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, imagine that though, because I'd be like, I'm sorry, I have to go fuck this. It's for the podcast. I have to review it later.
Jesus Christ. Did anyone else talk to us?
Yeah. So this is a good one. I should have given you a heads up, but fuck it.
Good. Fantastic.
Frankie, who tweeted us earlier, @BrissFrankie, tweeted saying, I assume there will be talk of favourite horror films / Halloween recommendations too. My top pick is, of course, my favourite film, The Lost Boys. So I thought, it's a spooky special. What's your favourite horror films and your favourite films to watch around the Halloween season?
So, favourite film that has scared me, Paranormal Activity. I think that film fucks with you after you watch it, but not while you're watching it, which was, I think, maybe accidentally. I've never seen the other one, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I remember watching that film not being scared. Then when I tried to go to sleep that night, got very scared.
Yep.
Favorite horror Halloween-y film is probably Friday the 13th.
Okay. Really?
I love that film. I love Jason.
Which Friday the 13th though? Because he's not really in the first one.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, that one that we watched together.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know. Just any of those that series. I think.
Even number 9.
I've not seen all of them, mate. Just chuck Jason in stabbing people and I'm good.
You should watch all of the series.
I meant to. I don't remember where I got in it, so I'm going to start from the beginning again.
I've seen, right, this podcast, which is way more successful than us, but whatever. And they do this, they've got like a Patreon account thing.
Yep.
And one of the things they do is you can pay to watch them, like they'll live stream them binge watching something. So I think this weekend they binge watched Stranger Things season 2.
Yep.
And you could pay to watch that. if we ever get to that level, it would be amazing to have like a live stream of us watching all of the Friday the 13th in a row.
Oh, that's sort of... I don't want to make people pay for that.
No, we probably wouldn't add the whole payment thing to it. It'd be nice if people did pay us though.
Yeah.
Maybe like it's not like you have to pay to watch it. It's just that if you like it, chuck some money our way.
Yeah, that works.
Because we could do like all of the nightmares. We could do all of the paranormal activities because I think there's 5 of them now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm down for that. What are your favourites though?
So my favourite horror film is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
I love it.
You're a Freddy boy.
Closely followed by, if we want to go classics, like the Universal monster movies, we've got Bride of Frankenstein. I'm also a huge fan of the original Night of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah, that's good as well.
Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. On Halloween, I kind of like to go to the Halloween franchise and pick one from that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the first one's good, but quite like the 4th and 5th as well.
I think I've seen the first 2 of the Halloween series.
Yeah, that two's a fine follow on. If I like Halloween, it doesn't have to be something that's scary necessarily. So something like Ghostbusters is also quite a fun film to watch on Halloween.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Lost Boys is another favourite of mine, so I agree with Frankie on that. That's a great choice. For October, I pretty much watched, apart from cinema stuff, at home exclusively horror movies, apart from when you visited as well.
Yep.
And The Lost Boys was the movie that I watched to start my season of horror. So like midnight on September the 30th, as the clock rolled into October 1st, I chucked on Lost Boys as my first movie. That's a little glimpse into my life.
It's sort of depressing.
Whatever.
But what's the one that scares you the most, Liam? Because those are all like
so
not scary horror films.
The most recent one to scare me is probably Wreck.
Oh yeah, Wreck is good.
Yeah, Spanish zombie film. Like the last 15 minutes of that is honestly just, I think, a perfect example of how horror can be done. It's just terrifying.
Wreck is like legitimately one of the best zombie films and horror films.
Yeah. So those are our recommendations. Thank you for tweeting us, all of the people that tweeted us. I've mentioned Gilmore Girls. I haven't really done anything else for housekeeping. I haven't watched any more Attack on Titans.
Yep, because you're an arsehole.
Cat won't let me. I'm blaming her entirely.
Sure.
Every time I put it on, right, and she's in the room, she just whinges so much that it's not worth it. And she's always in the room. Can't get rid of her.
Whatever.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
So, spooky, horror, Halloween, blah.
Do you remember, Liam?
Yeah.
What our plan was for this Halloween special?
Yeah, the plan was you came up with this idea, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that to sort of like blame me, and I was like I thought it was a good idea.
It's a great idea. You wanted to do a modern horror film, so you could talk about everything that was wrong with modern horror films.
So that we could talk about, not me.
Okay, yeah, we.
I thought you would be more of a sort of expert because like horror is your forte.
Yeah.
I would say.
Great idea. I had seen this film before.
Okay, I haven't.
Yeah.
This was the first time.
So I kind of knew it definitely does a couple of things, right? That kind of work with our initial concept, but I think
it's got some of the jump scares in there.
Yeah, something like Insidious would have played better for if we wanted to go all in on just like really deconstructing why modern horror doesn't work. But
yeah, because what we accidentally did was watch a really good horror film.
That's the thing. I did want to kind of watch a movie that would actually be decent.
That's fair. But I think this film struggles to fall into the tropes. Like it does it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it does it so little that it's not falling into the trope because it's using it properly, which is, jump scares work. Jump scares are scary if you only use them a few times.
Yeah, exactly. So
and this film doesn't rely on them and is very good about like sort of almost building up to the jump scare by completely faking you out for like half the film.
Yeah. So the movie we're talking about is The Conjuring. We mentioned it at the beginning. If you were paying attention, if you were observant, you'd know that. But hey,
it's like a riddle.
There's going to be spoilers. We're going to Culture Swap always do spoilers, but if you're a first-time listener, just a heads up, we'll spoil the movie. Jack, please provide a brief plot synopsis.
A family called the Perrons, they are experiencing a haunting. They call in 2 paranormal experts to come and sort of solve it, to fix the family, and then we follow them as they try to resolve the haunting.
Well, is it a haunting?
Well, yeah, that's part of it, though. They think they're being haunted. The Warrens come in to try and fix it.
Yeah. So straight off the bat, I think the first half is a lot better than the second half.
Yep. It's one of those. It's one of those films where once you see the monster, it becomes less scary.
And they do try and mix it up. There's a couple of different, like, monsters, if you will, loosely using that term.
Lorraine Warren. So these are real people as well. Lorraine Warren and Ed Warren are two real paranormal investigators from like the 80s who went and I think were quite famous for going to the biggest hauntings and trying to help.
Yeah, like the Amityville Horror is theirs, essentially.
But we're not going to be talking about, them specifically, whether it's real or not, because it's not. But
well, we haven't really done the research into it, have we?
Well, ghosts aren't real. Anyway, Lorraine Warren in this film is a clairvoyant who can speak to the dead and see the dead, and she at one point in the film says to them, "Your house is like severely haunted. There are lots of spirits here, but there is one particularly bad one."
It's almost like the Hellmouth in Buffy.
Yes, yeah,
it's like
like you've got a shit ton of ghosts. There are too many ghosts here.
Yeah, it's like this like site here is a place that just keeps attracting bad stuff to happen to it.
Yeah, which I think is probably because the bad ghost or demon, is making people die, and then they're becoming ghosts there.
Exactly, and then the other thing as well is what I thought was quite interesting was when they were like, "Well, we'll just move." Like, nah, this entity has latched onto your family, so anywhere you go, it's coming with you.
Yeah, I liked as well because there's a bit at the beginning where I think even before they say that, the Ed Warren is like, "Oh, well, why don't you just move out?" Which is the question everyone asks in these films. And the dad says, "Who is going to buy this house? We don't have money to move." And I was like, "Yeah, that's like a reasonable answer."
Yeah. So the dad is played by Ron Livingston, and he's so good. He's in so many things, and he just never seems to age.
I don't know who else he is. I know he's the dad in this.
He's in a film called Drinking Buddies, which is a mumblecore film that I want you to watch because I actually think you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
He's also in Office Space, which is a real famous movie from.
Yeah, I know. So I've never seen it, but I know that it's very famous.
Yeah. That's probably his most famous role.
Oh, I've seen him in other stuff. I'm looking at some pictures are popping up where I'm recognising him.
Yeah, you know him when you see it. Yeah, but sometimes it's not easy to necessarily put a name to his face.
Got you.
But he just never seems to age.
That's fair. Is he a vampire? Do we think he's a vampire? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Ron Livingston, vampire.
Yeah, bit like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, there's a whole clan of them. All of Hollywood have vampires. Conspiracy Theory Corner is finished.
Cool. The other thing about this movie that I was pleasantly surprised by is the children are actually quite good actors.
Yes, they're believable.
Yeah. Also, it has Joey King, who, she's brilliant. She was in a Taylor Swift music video for the song Mean.
Okay.
And anytime she appears in the film, I'm just like, I can relax. I know that I'm not going to get a shitty child performance. I
mean, I think, none of the kids were...
No, all of them were good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only thing I didn't really like about this movie in the first half is I felt like the stuff with the Annabelle doll felt kind of shoehorned in. Yeah,
well, I didn't realise how quick... I don't know why, but in my head, the way I've always sort of imagined or thought, with very little research, thought that The Conjuring was Conjuring 1, 2...
Nope.
Then they span off into Annabelle.
Nope.
But actually, Annabelle is the second film.
Yeah, and then you've got The Conjuring 2, and then you have Annabelle Creation.
Yeah, so I didn't realise, I didn't even realise that Annabelle would be in this film. And then, so went right at the beginning, you get the chunk of Annabelle. I was like, oh, wait, I see. They were, setting this up from the beginning.
Yeah, it's just... It feels like the director, right, James Wan, had this idea for the Annabelle thing, but he knew it wouldn't stretch to a whole film. So it was like... It would have worked brilliantly as a short, but he just didn't want to kind of give this idea up. So he just crammed it into this film. And honestly, it doesn't really fit in with the bulk of the plot, I don't think.
It doesn't, but it also, it's not a huge sore thumb in that they explain Annabelle into the story.
Yeah, just
because
weird.
Because there's some sort of, the real demon, the main demon, is possessing Annabelle, right? And that demon is, getting other things, other ghosts and stuff to fuck with people. That's the interpretation I was getting from it. Because at the end you have Annabelle, because the demon's I can get your daughter, and then it's Annabelle that does that. Yeah?
Yeah, I just don't think the Annabelle stuff is that related to the house stuff.
Well, no, it is related, but I don't think it worked super well, but no. I didn't mind it because they gave me an explanation, but I think the film would have been better without the Annabelle stuff.
Okay.
But, you know, like, so long as they can explain it to me, I'm always going to give it a bit more of a... Like, my least favourite thing is when, not necessarily horror films, but any film chucks some bullshit in and then just ignores it.
Yeah.
So at least this film attempted to explain the Annabelle stuff.
Okay.
So I was a bit more okay with it. But I do agree, I think it would have been a better film if they had just skipped Annabelle.
Yeah.
Or left it just at that beginning scene.
Okay, yeah.
Because, like, that scene is quite good, that whole intro.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And I thought they were just setting up the Warren family, but actually it ends up being more, but still.
What was, for you, do you think, the creepiest moment in this film?
The one that, like, sticks in my mind the most is, I think it's Christine and... I can't remember the kids' names because there's, like, 6 of them.
Yeah.
2 of the girls are in their room.
I think it's the same as my one, then.
Yeah, so it's the one where she's getting pulled out of bed a lot.
Yeah.
And then she sits up and she looks in the corner. And there's this whole scene where she's just staring there. And the other daughter wakes up and is like, what are you doing? And she's like, can you see it? It's just there. And there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
And that's like the spookiest thing for me.
Yeah, and
it doesn't
it's
help.
Weird, right? That, like, I totally agree. That's the creepiest thing. And you don't even see anything.
No, and nothing happens. Like, the door slams and then the dad opens it and the girls are just there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
And so the actress that is doing that whole, like, can you see it? There's a thing there. That's Joey King.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason why that moment works is purely down to her performance.
Oh yeah, no, she does the I'm seeing something and it is terrifying really well.
Yeah, that was that scene kind of got under my skin.
Oh yeah, no, it's just the way it builds up with the other girl walking over.
Yeah,
and then she's just like, it's right behind you.
And I think that's the perfect example of modern horror doing something right. Okay, because yeah, like you were saying, we've had a couple of the moments before where there's the jump scares and whatnot. So you're kind of on edge, almost anticipating something, and then what does happen is just a door slams. And yeah, it's a bit of a lazy scare because my like pet peeve with modern horror is I think Mark Commode references this a lot, where he'll be like the quiet bang.
Yeah.
And modern horror just relies on that way too much. But I feel like even if you didn't have the door slamming, that scene would work really well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, and it's not a jump scare in the, like, when I picture like a jump scare, the annoying kind. Yeah. It's the quiet bang, but the bang is like the fucking. Do you remember the old prank on the computer where you watch the advert of the car going down and then a big creepy face jumps at you?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like without that actual visual element as well, it's not quite as bad. It's not the same almost.
Makes sense.
Do you know? Yeah, I think that makes sense. But yeah, that scene, I think I've probably mentioned on the show before, but my younger brother used to have night terrors.
Yeah.
Do you know about night terrors, Liam?
They're like nightmares.
They're a little bit like nightmares, except imagine that when you're having a nightmare, you physically get up, walk around, talk to people as if you are living the nightmare, and that's what a night terror is.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, so her sitting up, looking into the corner and being like, can you see that? Is even more horrifying because my brother used to do shit like that.
Oh no, I wouldn't like that.
And not lying, he would just be seeing shit in the corner.
Yeah, I think I would have had to have like pressed a pillow over my brother's face if he was doing that.
I used to just lie there and not talk because I'd hear him get up and I'd go, oh shit, he's having a night terror. And I cannot be dealing with fear, so I'll let him go and talk to Dad.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that scene was really good, and also just the way that they shot like the leg being pulled.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite good. But the other bit that gets to me is the clap game.
Yeah, so you when I started watching it, I messaged you and said, or we were talking, and I was like, I'm about to watch it.
Yeah.
And you said, get ready for the clap game, after I had been a little bit freaked out by something else.
Yeah.
And so which specific clap game are you talking to? The one where you actually see the hand?
Yeah, the one with the mum's playing it.
Yeah, because that is horrifying. Like, the clap game itself is terrifying because you know that they're going to use it.
What is it, right, with these sort of films where the kids in them play just the creepiest fucking games ever? Because there's another one in a film called The Orphanage. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
Where essentially you face away, I think you close your eyes, and you kind of count to 3 or something, and then you turn around, and the kids are trying to get close enough to you to touch you.
Oh, like What's the Time, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah, it's a lot like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But that, in a horror movie setting, is just fucking terrifying.
Yeah, the thing with it is, anything that is... I think there's an aspect of, like, things that you used to play as a child, which are innocently fun and not creepy, become a lot more... It almost feels like the movie is taking those fond memories you had, right, of this just really innocent, fun game you used to play.
Yeah.
And then sort of, by adding that sort of, oh god, something horrible is going to happen, you're sort of associating it with what you used to do and what you used to be like, almost.
Yeah, I guess.
Does that make sense? So, like, you're seeing these kids having fun. Like, because the clap game, that's the kind of thing that if it wasn't associated with this film, I could see playing with a kid and being like, oh, yeah, fuck it. There's this thing called the clap game that's just, it's like hide and seek.
Yeah, but it's
or Marco Polo.
terrifying.
But it becomes terrifying when you add the element of there is also a ghost playing, and that ghost is not going to be nice to you.
No.
Because, yeah, that bit was... I thought it was, I don't know why, but the fact that you actually see the hands.
Yeah.
So basically, the mum's playing and she's blindfolded, and every time someone claps, you walk towards the claps, and you have to try and catch the person.
Yeah.
And the mum's trying to get her daughter. It's only the mum and the daughter playing.
Yeah.
The daughter goes and hides somewhere. The mum starts asking for claps, and it's coming from a cupboard.
Yeah.
Which you know the daughter isn't in. But then you specifically see these tiny little ghost hands come out, creep out from behind coats and just clap. And I don't know why, but seeing the hands in that moment freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely makes it a lot scarier for some reason. And it's one of those interesting moments, right? Because we were saying earlier, when you actually see the thing, it stops being scary. But because you don't see all of it, it still works.
It's almost like the way Alien does it, where you're seeing bits of the monster, but you don't ever see the whole monster.
Exactly.
So that doesn't detract from it.
Yeah, and then for me, this film just sort of loses it when the older sister sees the old lady like on top of the wardrobe.
Yes, that is exactly the moment that I would also pin the like, oh, now I know what's happening, I'm a little bit less scared.
Yeah, exactly. There's still like, creepy moments and jumpy moments, like the scene where Lorraine Warren is kind of like, she's experiencing what's happened in the house, and she goes outside and she's by a tree, and you see these two feet hanging. Yeah,
it's when she's talking to Ed, and then you're getting it from his perspective of him being like, what are you seeing? And then it cuts to her, and there are just dead feet hanging behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good bit.
But yeah, like, you see a few of the kind of ghosts in it, and as soon as you see them, it's just, nah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Ghosts are terrifying. Like, the idea of ghosts are terrifying. But in a film, there's an element of, I'm just seeing a person, and I know they're on that screen, so it's not even like... I don't know.
I think The Sixth Sense did ghosts well, in that you see them and they're still quite creepy.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But I don't know if that's because you are seeing them from like a child's perspective almost, and I don't know why that one works more successfully than this one does.
Yeah, I don't know. My like, I've always said the films that scare me the most are ghost children and children in scary situations. Those are the two things that fuck me up the most.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the association with it is. But even then, like this one, it almost didn't... I think because you're not getting it from the kid's perspective a lot. Like a lot of it is from the Warrens' perspective or the two parents.
Yeah.
So there's almost... Even though the kids are involved, it's less spooky. Because like we said, our scariest moment is from the kid's perspective, the two daughters.
Yeah, definitely.
So it is. There's this weird element of like an adult experiencing it is less creepy. I don't know why.
No. The other creepy thing as well is that fucking music box that you look in the mirror.
Oh, because it's such a good build-up of like...
Yeah.
And then especially, is it when the mum does it and she doesn't see anyone?
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking such a build-up, and then just you're waiting for it and nothing happens.
Yeah. I am disappointed that we didn't watch this movie together in the dark.
Yeah, you had asked me to turn my lights off to see how long I lasted.
Yeah.
I did not do that, but I did inform you that I would have lasted about a minute.
Yeah, whereas if we'd have watched it together, I would have insisted that the lights stay off.
I would have been less scared watching it with someone else. I'm less scared if I'm in a room with someone.
Do you think?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
If I'm alone, I've got no... Like, if it was me and you watching it,
yeah,
I feel like, even if we weren't, because when we watch films, we don't particularly talk a lot.
No, we don't.
But I would probably, occasionally be like, the fuck's that about? Or whatever, and that would diffuse it a little bit for me.
Okay, yeah.
When I'm alone, I don't have that outlet, so
That's
I have
true.
to... I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh god, I'm just terrified, and I can't make a witty joke because I'm just alone.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You could make a witty joke, and if something else laughs, then you've got to be worried.
I start playing the clap game.
Yeah. So yeah, is there anything that you felt, anything else that you felt this film didn't do right?
I mean, apart from it's not even a pitfall, just the sort of annoying thing that these horror films do, where they say based on a true story.
Yeah.
Like that always annoys me because I want to believe in ghosts, but fully don't. No one has ever given me sufficient evidence to prove that ghosts are real.
Yeah.
I'd love it if they were, because the idea of them, whilst terrifying, is also like cool. But so then the film's like, whoa.
Do you think if they were real, that would kind of what's the word? Verify an afterlife of sorts?
No, not necessarily. The pseudoscience of most ghosts comes from like loads of different things, and not necessarily an afterlife.
But aren't ghosts meant to be like spirits that are trapped and can't escape?
No, that's like the most rudimentary grasp of what these people say about ghosts. Like now it's, there's all the bullshit of like, there's energy storage or something where you, like, the ghost isn't an entity that's like actively thinking. It's almost like a memory being replayed because their energy sort of infused the area. That kind of bullshit.
Okay, but also these weren't ghosts, were they? They were demons. Well, there was a demon.
There are ghosts. It's just that there's a demon that's ruling over it all.
So obviously, with your massively religious upbringing that we got into a couple of episodes back when we talked about blankets.
Yeah.
How do you feel about demons?
Demons aren't that spooky.
Really? But Paranormal Activity was demons.
Yeah, that's the thing. If a demon is being ghost-like or poltergeisty,
right,
then that's spooky.
But if it is like a Cenobite, for example,
are they the ones from Pinhead and whatever it's called?
Yeah,
those things, they don't particularly scare me. But that's what I mean. So like the traditional demon doesn't spook me out.
Got ya.
I think the kind of demon in The Conjuring, when they say demon, even though they then have an exorcism and all that bullshit, like the idea of it to me is, in my head, I'm still like, that's a ghost. It's just an evil ghost.
I did like the fact that it felt like The Conjuring really didn't rely a lot on CGI.
Yeah, no, that's true. It didn't. It didn't feel like it did.
Yeah, and that exorcism scene is a good example where they could have shown more than they did, but I think the restraint that they used there made it scarier.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I hope the acting was good, pretty much all around, especially the kids. They were really surprising.
Yeah, I liked as well that we got a couple of funny moments.
Such as?
The police officer that comes to help them and the cameraman have a couple of interactions that are a little bit like especially when ghost stuff starts happening, because the policeman's very much like
skeptic.
Oh no, I don't believe in ghosts. I'll help you, but I'm here to look after everyone. And then like something happens and the cameraman just turns to him and he's like, so you don't believe in ghosts? And he's like, yep, okay, I'm changing my mind.
Patrick Wilson is an interesting. I like him as an actor, don't get me wrong, but he was in this and he was in Insidious, and I sometimes get them confused because of that fact.
And see, I haven't seen Insidious.
Insidious, I think, is a good example of modern horror going wrong. Like, it shows you the demon way too soon. The demon looks like Darth Maul. Like, I'm sure you've seen an image of it.
I think I have, or I've heard people talking about it.
Yeah, and it is honestly ridiculous.
Yeah, because I think him and Vera Farmiga.
Yeah,
I think they did a good job. Like, I don't know, I think, like you said, everyone in this film did a pretty decent job, I think.
Yeah, it's just it seems weird to me, right, that you
cast him again.
Yeah, exactly. And let me just check something as well, especially because Insidious is the same director. Really? Yeah.
That's interesting.
So I don't understand why you would have those similarities. It's just odd to me.
Yeah, no, that is really weird, especially if it is the same director, just casting him.
Yeah,
the same. Is he a similar role in Insidious, or is he?
I think it's more like the family person. But I honestly, it was a few years back. But I think he's more like the father in Insidious than like a, demon-y thing, like an expert. Director also directed Saw, James Wan.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
He directed Dead Silence.
Haven't seen that.
He did Insidious, The Conjuring, The Insidious Chapter 2. He did an uncredited scene in Annabelle. He did The Conjuring 2. But you know what else he did, which is going to maybe surprise you?
Go on.
Furious 7.
Really?
Yeah.
That is after that sort of run of horror films.
Yeah.
That is quite a surprise.
And do you know what he's currently directing, and it's kind of he's filming at the moment?
Go on.
Aquaman.
Jesus. He's got I was going to say he's got a varied filmography, but he hasn't. He's suddenly become varied.
Yeah. Solid route in horror. Now he's diversifying.
Yeah, no, that is odd.
Yep.
I mean, even then, I guess if you look at the films that are on his list of horror films that he's done,
like Saw is a great film.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because like Saw is your traditional like torture porn.
Yeah.
Insidious, from the sounds of it, is
it's
the
more
modern,
like The Conjuring, but it's not as good.
But is like the wrong kind of modern horror.
Yeah.
And then The Conjuring is actually good.
Yeah.
Like
it's almost like he learned.
Yeah, it's weird. It is weird though. That's odd.
I'm curious to watch The Conjuring 2 now. Less curious about Annabelle.
Yeah, here's the thing. This is the way after watching this film, and even though I found it scary in some places and was like, oh man, that spooked me out, I really want to watch the rest. I know Annabelle's not supposedly that good or anything, but I feel like I've got to watch it in order because I'm fascinated by things like the Enfield case, which is what The Conjuring 2 is based on.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I love the idea of ghosts, even though they are completely fictitious. So I always listen to like these, like last podcast on the left and stuff when they talk about these hauntings.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating.
Okay.
So I know a fair amount about the Enfield haunting. So I'm really interested to see Conjuring 2.
Fair enough. I'll have to watch Annabelle first though, just because of the way I have to do
same.
things.
That's what I'm going to do that as well.
Yeah. But I'm not like in a rush to watch Annabelle is the issue.
See, I might because it's Halloween and I may as well.
That makes sense. Anything else that you want to add about The Conjuring?
I'm trying to think if there was anything. No, not particularly. It was good. I just liked.
Yeah, it's a good Halloween movie, right?
Yeah, it was a good scary film.
Yeah,
and I had a good time.
Works well for our Halloween special.
Yeah, it did. We picked a good Halloween film.
I would say if Amanda's listening, you don't want to watch this.
No, yeah, Amanda, give this one a miss.
Yeah, but anyone else, you could watch worse, couldn't you?
If you want to be spooked out by some ghosties, you could give The Conjuring a go.
Perfect. Out of 5?
I want to say 4. I think 4.
I'm going to go with 3.5.
Fair enough.
Next time on Nerd on Nerd,
we're doing Stranger Things Season 2.
Just came out on Netflix recently.
Yep.
We're going to be watching it anyway, so we figured, hey, why not talk about it?
And since Amanda made us, break our rule of watching things in a certain number of episodes and stuff,
we're doing a whole season.
Realised, maybe we shouldn't do that. So
the whole season, but just season 2.
Yeah.
So
get ready for that. So yeah, if you haven't seen season 1 or 2, go watch them.
Yeah, I mean, you've already watched 6 episodes, haven't you, of season 2?
Yeah, I'm like near the end of season 2.
I've watched 1 episode.
Yep.
So you can expect a insightful, joyous discussion all about Stranger Things season
Classic
2.
Nerd on Nerd style, just deep, thoughtful talking.
Yep. We figured why not keep this Halloween train a-rolling?
What really?
What?
Stranger Things?
It's set up around Halloween, or at least the episode I've seen so far.
Yeah.
It starts on October 28th, I think. The
season.
So, all aboard the Spooky Express. Boo boo. You can email us, nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com if you want to get involved.
Get more enthusiastic, Liam.
If you'd like to get involved in this discussion, look, right, you've probably watched Stranger Things Season 2 or you're currently watching it, okay? You don't have to have watched all of it. You can just email us and let us know what you think of what you've watched so far. Even, here's another idea. Maybe you haven't watched it. Email us, tell us why. Everyone's talking about it. Why aren't you? Email us, nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Please, tweet us @nerdonnerd. If it will fit into 140 characters or less, unless you're one of these fancy people that gets 280 characters for some fucking reason, I don't know. Fuck YouTube. I'm sick of it.
Jesus.
iTunes. Go rate us. No one has recently. So, why don't you? We'll read it out. It'll be real fun. We'll have a good old time. Rate us high, please. Because, honestly, it's just mean and vindictive if you don't. That's basically everything you need to know.
Are you done?
Yep.
Any final thoughts, Liam?
Yeah, 1,099. I don't know how that compares to last time, but whatever.
Fair enough. Bye.